The north is cold and full of whispers.
Before we dive in, check the link in the description if you want exclusive timelines, members-only videos you won't find on YouTube, all on our Patreon. The forest is dying. Autumn has stripped the trees half bare. Gold and crimson leaves cover the ground like a burial shroud. The air smells of rot and coming winter. King Robert Baratheon stands in a clearing, swaying. The wine has made him slow. Stupid. He can barely hold the boar spear steady. Around him his hunting party watches. Nervous. Ser Barristan Selmy sits on his horse, hand near his sword. Lancel Lannister, who poured the wine, who made sure the king drank more than he should, stands pale and shaking. The dogs bark, frantic, terrified. Then it comes. The boar is massive, 400 pounds of muscle and rage. Scarred hide, tusks like daggers, it charges from the undergrowth. Straight at Robert. Robert plants his feet, raises the spear. "Come on, you bastard." The boar hits him. The spear glances off the thick hide. Not a killing blow, not even close. Robert goes down hard. The breath explodes from his lungs. The boar wheels, lowers its head for the killing charge. Those tusks will open Robert's belly, will spill his guts across the forest floor. In another world, this is where Robert Baratheon dies. In another world, Barristan Selmy moves half a second too slow. Not in this one. Barristan launches himself from his horse. Boots hit the ground. He is 60 years old, but he moves like lightning. Like the knight who earned his name at 16. Barristan the Bold. The sword takes the boar in the neck. A perfect strike. The beast screams. Blood sprays. It collapses 5 feet from where Robert lies gasping. Silence. Just the sound of Robert's ragged breathing. The whimpering of dogs. Lancel stares at the dead boar. His face has gone from pale to gray. He was supposed to make sure Robert died. Cersei's orders. Simple. Get the king drunk. Make sure the boar kills him. Collect his reward. Now Robert is alive, and Lancel's hands won't stop shaking. Barristan sheathes his sword. Kneels beside Robert. "Your Grace, are you hurt?" "7 hells, Selmy. You're getting slow in your old age. That pig damn near had me. You need a maester, Your Grace. You took a hard fall." Robert struggles to sit up. Winces. His ribs feel like broken glass. "I've had worse from tavern wenches. Get me on a horse, and somebody bring me more wine." He looks at Lancel, at the wineskin in the boy's trembling hands. "Perhaps Your Grace has had enough wine for one day." Robert glares, then laughs. Painful, wheezing. "You sound like Ned Fine. No more wine. Just get me back to the keep before Cersei starts mourning me." They lift him onto a horse. Robert sways but stays upright. His ribs scream, his head pounds, but he is alive. One swing of a sword, one dead boar, one living king. Everything changes. The Red Keep, King's Landing, evening. Cersei Lannister watches from her window as the hunting party returns. She sees the servants running, sees the commotion. Her heart lifts. Finally, Robert is dead. 17 years of hell are over. Then she sees him. Robert, mounted, bloodied but alive, riding through the gates like nothing happened. Her face goes still, cold. Beside her, Varys whispers, "It seems the stranger was not hungry today, Your Grace." Cersei does not answer, just watches, planning. If the boar couldn't kill him, something else will. The Red Keep, Robert's chambers. That night, Robert lies on his bed. The maesters have wrapped his ribs, treated the bruises, given him milk of the poppy for the pain. He refused it. He wants his mind clear. "Send for Ned Stark," he tells the servant, "now." Robert stares at the ceiling. The fall knocked something loose in his head, made him think about mortality, about his children, about the throne he will leave behind. Joffrey will be king. That spoiled, cruel little shit will sit the Iron Throne. The thought makes Robert's stomach turn. There is a knock. Ned enters, still wearing his hand's badge, looking worried. "Robert, the maesters said you were injured. Sit down, Ned." Robert's voice is rough. "We need to talk." Ned sits, wary. Robert has that look, the one that means something important is coming. Robert reaches under his pillow, pulls out a book, leather-bound, well-worn, throws it to Ned. Jon Arryn was reading that before he died. "Open it." Ned opens the book. The lineages and histories of the great houses of the Seven Kingdoms, pages and pages of noble bloodlines, birth records, hair color, eye color. Look at the Baratheon pages, Robert says. Ned flips through, finds them, reads. Every Baratheon for 300 years. Black hair, every single one. No exceptions. Now tell me, Ned, what color hair do my children have? Ned's face goes pale. Robert, Joffrey, Myrcella, Tommen, not a trace of black. Robert sits up, ignores the pain in his ribs. Jon Arryn figured it out. That's why he died. That's why he was asking questions about my bastards. Because every bastard I ever sired has black hair, Ned. Every single one. Ned stares at the book, his mind racing. Jon Arryn visited Tobo Mott's forge, saw Gendry, a boy with Robert's face and Robert's black hair. Jon asked Cersei questions. Then Jon died, suddenly, screaming. Grand Maester Pycelle said it was a chill, a sudden illness. They're not mine, Robert says. Quiet, deadly. Joffrey, Myrcella, Tommen, they're not my children. They're Lannister bastards. And I know who the father is. Ned's hands clench. Robert, you can't know that for certain. Hair color isn't. It's Jaime. Robert's voice is like stone. The Kingslayer. He's been fucking my wife since before we were married. Those children are his. I know it in my bones, Ned. I know it. 300 years of black-haired Baratheons. 3 golden-haired children who look nothing like Robert. Everything like Cersei. Everything like Jaime. Jon Arryn died for discovering this, Ned says slowly. If you're right, I am right, and I'm going to prove it. Robert stands, walks to the window, looks out at King's Landing, his city. His kingdom built on lies. Fetch Barristan and gather your household guard. Tonight we arrest every Lannister in this keep. Robert, wait. If you're wrong. Robert turns. His eyes are cold, hard. I'm not wrong, but I need proof. Evidence the whole realm can see. Can you get it? Ned thinks. There is a girl. One of Robert's bastards. Working in a brothel. Black hair, there is Gendry. Black hair, there are records. Witnesses. If Jon Arryn could find them, so can Ned. I can get it, Ned says. Give me 2 days. You have 1. Robert walks to his desk, sits. And Ned, when we bring them down, I'll need your help with something else. Something difficult. What? If Joffrey isn't mine, I have no heirs. The throne passes to Stannis. Robert's jaw tightens. Unless I name someone else. Ned goes very still. Who? Just stares at the book. At 300 years of Baratheon bloodline. At the truth that will destroy everything. The Red Keep. Ned's chambers. The next morning, Ned has not slept. He has been working through the night, gathering evidence, tracking down Robert's bastards, questioning servants, reading Jon Arryn's notes. Everything fits, every piece of the puzzle. Cersei's children are not Robert's. Now he sits in his chambers, the evidence spread before him, birth records, testimonies. 3 of Robert's acknowledged bastards brought to the Red Keep in secret. Bella, Gendry, Maya Stone, all with black hair. All with Robert's features. Jory Cassell stands guard at the door. My lord, the king is asking for you. Tell him I'm coming. Ned gathers the documents. His hands are steady, but his heart is racing. This will start a war. Tywin Lannister will not accept this quietly. The Westerlands will march. Blood will flow. But the truth is the truth, and Ned Stark has never been able to look away from truth. He walks through the corridors of the Red Keep, past servants who whisper, past guards who watch. Everyone can feel it. Something is coming. Some great shift in the realm. Robert's chambers. The door is guarded by Barristan Selmy and 2 Kingsguard. They let Ned pass. Inside, Robert is dressed in his full armor. The crowned stag on his chest, his warhammer leaning against the wall. He looks sober, focused, dangerous. Do you have it? Robert asks. Ned places the documents on the table. All of it, the lineage book. Testimonies from the brothels. 3 of your bastards as living proof. Jon Arryn's notes. Everything. Reads. His face darkens with each page. 17 years, Robert says softly. 17 years she made me live a lie. Made me love children who aren't mine. Made me plan to give my throne to Lannister spawn. Robert, before you act, you need to think about what comes next. Tywin can burn in 7 hells. Robert's voice is ice. His daughter is a whore and a traitor. His son is a kingslayer and an oathbreaker. And their bastards will never sit my throne. The children? I don't know yet. Robert stands, walks to the window. They're innocent, they didn't choose their parents, but they're bastards born of incest, Ned. The realm will never accept them. You could send them away. Casterly Rock. Let them live quietly. Maybe, Robert turns. But first, I need to deal with their mother and their father tonight, before Cersei realizes I know. You want to arrest them tonight? Tonight. Publicly, in the throne room. I want every lord in King's Landing to see. I want the truth witnessed. No room for doubt. No room for lies. Robert picks up his warhammer. Gather your men, Ned, and tell Barristan to assemble the gold cloaks we're going hunting. Robert sits at the head of the table. Around him, Ned Stark, Barristan Selmy, Varys. Littlefinger is notably absent. Robert made sure of it. Ned doesn't trust him, neither does Robert. Not anymore. Tonight, Robert says, we move against the Lannisters. Barristan, you'll lead the King's Guard. Ned, you'll take command of the gold cloaks. Varys, you'll seal every gate in the city. No one leaves King's Landing. Your Grace, Lord Tywin commands 60,000 men in the Westerlands. This action will mean war, Robert says, but we'll have it on our terms. With Lannister hostages in our dungeons, with proof of their treason for all the realm to see. The proof being, Varys asks. His voice is mild, but his eyes are calculating. Ned places the documents on the table. The Book of Lineages, birth records of Robert's bastards, testimony from witnesses. The genetic evidence is undeniable Cersei's children are not Robert's. Varys picks up the book, reads. His face shows nothing. This will convince some, Your Grace, but others will call it circumstantial. Hair color is not proof of parentage. It's proof enough, Robert says. Combined with everything else, Jon Arryn's investigation, the timing of Cersei's pregnancies, the fact that Jaime has never left King's Landing for long during their entire marriage. Lord Tywin will never accept this, Varys says. Lord Tywin can choke on it. Robert stands. Here are your orders. Barristan, you will arrest Jaime Lannister in the throne room tonight. Ned, you will arrest Cersei. Varys, you will detain Joffrey, Myrcella, and Tommen. House arrest, not execution. They're children. They don't deserve to die for their parents' sins. And after the arrests? Barristan asks. After the arrests, we gather every lord in King's Landing. We present the evidence. We let them see the truth. Then we send ravens to every corner of the 7 kingdoms. Let the realm know what the Lannisters did. Let them know the heirs to the Iron Throne are bastards born of incest. Ned leans forward. Robert, once you do this, there's no going back. Tywin will come for them. This will tear the realm apart. Robert says, it's been built on a lie for 17 years. I'm just bringing the truth into the light. He looks at each of them. Are you with me? Barristan nods immediately. I serve the king and the truth. Ned hesitates, then nods. I'm with you. Varys bows. As you command, Your Grace. But his eyes are distant, already calculating, already planning. The spider's webs are vast, and this will shake every strand. The Red Keep, evening. The throne room, the Iron Throne, looms in the darkness. 1,000 swords melted together, forged by dragon fire. It cuts those who sit on it, a reminder that power is dangerous. Earned in blood, Cersei sits on the throne. She does this sometimes when Robert is drinking, when he's not paying attention. She sits and imagines. Her son as king. Herself as the power behind the throne. The Lannister dynasty secure for generations. Joffrey stands beside her, 13 years old, golden-haired. Cruel-eyed, he watches the servants scurry and smirks. He enjoys their fear. Jaime is nearby, his white Kingsguard cloak spotless, his golden hand resting on his sword. He looks at Cersei. She looks back. A lifetime of secrets passes between them in that glance. The doors slam open. Robert enters. He is not drunk, not stumbling. He walks with purpose, with rage barely controlled. Behind him, Barristan Selmy, Eddard Stark, 50 gold cloaks in full armor. The servants freeze. The atmosphere shifts. Everyone can feel it. Something terrible is about to happen. Cersei stands. Her face shows nothing. Robert, you're supposed to be resting. The maesters said, Cersei Lannister, Jaime Lannister, Robert's voice echoes through the hall. By my word as King of the Seven Kingdoms, you are both under arrest. Silence. Complete. Absolute. Cersei's face goes pale, then red. On what charges? Treason, adultery, incest, conspiracy to murder Jon Arryn. And the greatest crime of all, you put bastards on my throne. Joffrey steps forward. His voice is shrill. Outraged. You can't arrest my mother. I'm the prince. I'll have your head for this. Robert moves faster than anyone expects. His hand catches Joffrey across the face. Not hard enough to truly hurt, but hard enough to shock, to humiliate. You're not a prince, Robert says. His voice is cold, brutal. You're a bastard. Born of lions, not stags. You have no more right to give orders than a tavern wench's son. His hand on his cheek, tears in his eyes, not from pain, from the shock of being struck, of being spoken to this way. No one has ever dared. Cersei moves between them. Robert, you're mad. You're drunk. You don't know what you're saying. I'm stone sober. And I know exactly what I'm saying. Robert nods to Barristan. Show them. Barristan steps forward. He carries the Book of Lineages, opens it, holds it up so the court can see. The Baratheon line, Barristan says, his voice carries. Formal. For 300 years, every Baratheon has had black hair. No exceptions. King Robert's acknowledged bastards, all of them, have black hair. But the children he believed were his, golden, Lannister gold. Everyone has wondered, everyone has seen, but no one dared say it aloud. Until now, Cersei's face hardens. This is Eddard Stark's doing. He's poisoned your mind against me, turned you against your own children. They're not my children, Robert's roar shakes the hall. They're yours, Cersei, yours and Jaime's, born of your incest, your treason, your lies. Jaime's hand moves toward his sword. Barristan is faster. His blade is out. The point at Jaime's throat before Jaime's sword is halfway drawn. Don't, Barristan says softly. You've slain one king, Sir Jaime. You'll be the kingslayer twice over if you draw that blade. Is that what you want? Jaime looks at Cersei, at the 50 armed men surrounding them, at Barristan's steady blade, at Robert's cold fury. He slowly moves his hand away from his sword. I yield. He unbuckles the sword belt, lets it fall. The white cloak slips from his shoulders. He stands in just his armor. A knight stripped of his oaths. Take them, Robert says. Let them rot until I decide what justice looks like. The gold cloaks move forward. Jaime doesn't resist. He is staring at Cersei, memorizing her face, knowing this might be the last time he sees her free. Cersei fights, screams, claws at the guards who seize her. My father will destroy you. Tywin Lannister will burn this city to ash. You'll beg for mercy before the end. They drag Cersei toward the door. She is still screaming. Threats, curses, promises of vengeance. The sound echoes through the Red Keep long after she's gone. Joffrey has collapsed, sobbing, not like a prince, like a child. Mother, don't take my mother. Robert looks down at him. For a moment, something flickers in his eyes. Not quite pity, but something close. This boy, this bastard, has lived 13 years believing he was a prince, believing he would be king. Now his world has shattered in minutes. Take him to his chambers, Robert says quietly. Post guards. He's not to leave, not to speak to anyone. Understood? Yes, Your Grace. The guards lift Joffrey. He doesn't resist. Just weeps. When the throne room is empty except for Robert, Ned, and Barristan, Robert sits heavily on the Iron Throne. A jagged edge cuts his palm. Blood wells. He doesn't notice. It's done, he says. The lions are caged. Ned stands at the base of the throne. This is just the beginning, Robert. When Tywin hears... I know. Robert looks at his bleeding hand. We'll deal with Tywin when he comes. But first, we need to secure the succession. Because if Joffrey isn't my son, I have no heirs. The throne passes to Stannis. Stannis is the lawful heir, Ned says carefully. Stannis is... Robert stops, shakes his head. There's something I need to tell you, Ned. Something about your bastard, about Jon Snow. What about Jon? Robert stands, walks down the steps of the throne, stands in front of Ned, eye to eye. He has Lyanna's eyes, Robert says quietly. I saw it when we visited Winterfell. He looks like her, sounds like her sometimes, and I've been wondering, why would you protect a bastard so fiercely? Why bring him to Winterfell? Why endure Catelyn's hatred? Unless, Robert pauses, studies Ned's face, unless he isn't your bastard at all. The Red Keep, Robert's chambers. Late night, Robert sits alone, staring at a portrait of Lyanna Stark, young, beautiful, frozen forever at 16. The girl he loved, the girl who died. He is not drunk, he refused wine at dinner, refused it all evening. His head is clear, but his heart is heavy. There is a knock. Ned enters. You wanted to see me? I was going to execute them all, you know. Cersei, Jaime, the children, every golden-haired bastard that mocks my throne. Robert, or would she call me a monster? Robert finally turns. His eyes are red, not from drink, from tears unshed. I've thought about her every day for 17 years, Ned. Every single day. And I've wondered, what would she think of me now, of what I've become? Ned sits, says nothing, just listens. Your bastard, Robert continues. Jon Snow. He has her eyes, her look, the way she used to stare at things, like she was seeing something no one else could see. He pauses. I've wondered for years why you'd protect him so fiercely, why you'd claim him. Shane Caitlin, bring him to Winterfell. It never made sense, Ned. You're too honorable to father a bastard. Too careful. Ned's hands clench. Robert, what are you asking? I'm asking. Robert takes a breath. Is Jon Snow your son, or is he Lyanna's? The silence stretches. Ned's face is stone. Years of secrets. Years of lies. Years of protecting the truth with everything he has. If I tell you, Ned says slowly, you must swear to me, on Lyanna's memory, that you will hear me to the end, that you will not act in rage, that you will listen. I swear it. Robert's voice is steady. On Lyanna's memory, I will listen. Ned stands, walks to the window, looks out at the night, at the city below, at the realm that will change forever when he speaks these words. Jon Snow is not my son, Ned says. He is Lyanna's. Robert goes completely still. What? At the Tower of Joy, when I found her, she was dying, Robert. Childbirth, but the child lived, a boy, Lyanna's son. Robert's voice is strangled. That silver-haired bastard, she had his child? Yes, kept her. She would never. She loved him, Robert. The words hang in the air like a blade. Robert staggers, sits heavily. No, she was taken. She was held prisoner. She went willingly. Ned's voice is gentle but firm. Rhaegar didn't kidnap her. They married, in secret. Before the old gods, Jon is their legitimate son, the last living son of Rhaegar Targaryen. Robert's hands are shaking. Why didn't you tell me? Why hide him? Because you would have killed him. Ned turns, meets Robert's eyes. The first thing you did when you took King's Landing was order the deaths of Rhaegar's other children, Rhaenys and Aegon. Babies, Robert. You approved their murders. What would you have done to Jon? Robert cannot answer, because they both know the truth. He would have killed the boy, without hesitation, without mercy. Lyanna made me promise, Ned continues. As she died, she made me swear I would protect him, hide him, keep him safe from you. So I claimed him as mine. Let the world think he was my bastard. Let Catelyn hate me for it, because that was the price of his life. Broken. Lyanna loved Rhaegar. Not me, never me. I don't know what she felt for you, Robert. I know she cared. But yes, she loved Rhaegar, and she died asking me to protect their son. Robert puts his head in his hands. For a long moment he just sits there, silent. Then, tell me everything I need to know. So Ned tells him. The Tower of Joy, Lyanna in the bed, soaked in blood, a baby in her arms. Promise me, Ned. Promise me you'll protect him. Robert will kill him if he knows. He'll kill my son just for having Rhaegar's blood. You have to hide him. Call him Jon. Raise him as yours. Please, Ned, promise me. I promise. Tell him I loved him. Tell my son that his mother loved him more than life, that I died bringing him into the world, that he was wanted, loved. Never let him think he was a mistake. I will. And Ned, thank you for keeping my secret, for loving my boy as your own. You're a better man than any of us deserved. Then she was gone, and Ned was left with a baby, a secret, and a lie that would last 16 years. When Ned finishes, Robert is weeping, silently, tears running down his face into his beard. I wanted to kill every Targaryen, Robert says through his tears. I wanted Viserys dead, Daenerys dead. I wanted to extinguish that line forever. And all this time, Lyanna's son was right in front of me, growing up at Winterfell, and I didn't even know. That's why I hid him. But Robert looks up, his face is destroyed. He's hers, he's Lyanna's blood, the only part of her that still exists. Yes, looks out at the night. I have no heirs, Ned. Joffrey is a bastard. Stannis. Renly is a boy playing at Lord. But Jon is Lyanna's son, the son of the woman I loved more than my own life. Robert, what are you thinking? Robert turns. His face is set, determined. I'm thinking I'm going to give Lyanna's son the Iron Throne. Ned's eyes go wide. You can't. He's Rhaegar's son. The realm will never accept a Targaryen. They'll accept who I tell them to accept. I'm the king. Robert's voice hardens. Jon doesn't know, does he? About his parents? No. I've kept it from him, to protect him. Then we'll tell him. But not as a Targaryen. We'll legitimize him as mine. Jon Baratheon, my son by law if not by blood. Lyanna was going to be my wife. That makes Jon close enough to family, close enough that the realm will accept it. Robert, this is madness, is it? Robert moves close, grips Ned's shoulders. Think about it, Ned. Jon is young, honorable, trained by you. He has northern blood, Stark blood. The North will follow him, and the rest of the realm will follow because I command it. And what about his true parentage? What if someone discovers? They won't, because only 3 people know. You, me, and Howland Reed. And Reed will keep the secret. He's kept it this long. Robert's grip tightens. I'm doing this, Ned. I'm giving Lyanna's son the throne she never sat on. Let that be her legacy. Let her blood rule the 7 kingdoms. She deserves that much. Ned stares at his friend, his king, the man who has just learned the hardest truth of his life and somehow turned it into hope instead of rage. You're sure about this? I've never been more sure of anything. Robert releases Ned. Send a raven to Castle Black, to Jon Snow. Tell him his king commands his presence. Tell him his family needs him. Castle Black, the Wall, 298 AC. 3 days after the arrests, Jon Snow stands in the armory, sharpening his sword. The whetstone makes a rhythmic scraping sound. Meditative, calming. Around him, other recruits prepare for tomorrow's ceremony. Tomorrow they will say their vows. Tomorrow they will become brothers of the Night's Watch. Tomorrow Jon Snow will finally belong somewhere. Sam Tarly sits nearby, polishing his boots. Not because they need it, because his hands need something to do. He is nervous, excited. Are you ready? Sam asks. For tomorrow? Jon tests the edge of his blade, sharp. I've never been ready for anything in my life, Sam, but yes, I think so. You'll be a ranger. I know it. You're too good to waste on steward duty. I'd be happy as a steward. Jon sheathes the sword. As long as I'm useful, as long as I belong. Sam smiles. You belong here, Jon. You're one of us now. The door opens. Maester Aemon's steward enters. Old. Bent, he looks around the armory. Jon Snow, for you. The armory goes quiet. Everyone is staring. Ravens from King's Landing don't come for bastard recruits. Ravens from the capital mean something important, something that changes lives. Jon takes the letter. His hands are steady, but his heart is pounding. He breaks the seal, reads. The words blur together at first, then focus, sharp, clear, impossible. Jon Snow, by order of King Robert Baratheon, you are hereby summoned to King's Landing. You are to depart immediately. This is not a request. This is a royal command. Come at once. Your family needs you. Eddard Stark, Hand of the King. Jon reads it twice. 3 times, it doesn't change. Sam leans over. What does it say? Jon's voice is rough. I don't understand. The king is summoning me. To King's Landing. Why would the king summon me? The other recruits murmur. Pip and Gren exchange glances. Even Alliser Thorne, who has just entered the armory, stops and stares. Let me see that, Thorne says. He snatches the letter. Reads. His face darkens. You're leaving? The night before your vows? I don't know. The letter says I must come immediately. You swore to take your vows. You pledged yourself to the watch. I haven't taken my vows yet, Sir Alistair. Jon's voice is quiet but firm. The raven arrived before the ceremony. Thorne's jaw clenches. A technicality. You came here of your own will. You don't just leave because some southern lord sends you a letter. It's not a lord, it's the king and my father. Jon meets Thorne's eyes. Something is wrong, something important. I have to go. You'll be an oath breaker. I haven't taken an oath to break. Jon turns to Sam. I'm sorry, I have to do this. Sam nods. His eyes are wet. I understand. Just come back, Jon, when you can. We'll miss you. Jon grips Sam's shoulder. I'll miss you too. He leaves the armory, goes to his cell, packs his few possessions, his sword, his cloak. Ghost lifts his head from where he's been sleeping. The direwolf knows. Something is changing. Come on, boy, Jon says. We're going south. Mormont sits behind his desk. The raven from King's Landing is spread before him. He has read it 5 times. His face is troubled. Jon stands at attention, waiting. Sit down, Snow. The direwolf is too large to be a puppy anymore, almost full-grown, white as fresh snow, red eyes watching everything. Mormont studies Jon. Do you know why the king is summoning you? No, Lord Commander. Your father gives no details, just that you're needed, that the family requires you. Mormont leans back. This is irregular, Snow. Men come to the wall to escape their old lives, not to be called back to them. I know, Lord Commander. You are going to take your vows tomorrow. You are going to swear before the old gods. Forsake your name, your claims, your family, everything. Mormont's eyes are sharp. And now, the night before that oath, you're summoned away. Do you know what that looks like? It looks like I was trying to avoid something, Jon says quietly. But I swear to you, I had no idea this was coming. I came to the wall to serve, to be useful, to find a place where I belonged. And now my father needs me, and I don't know why. But Jon hesitates. When Eddard Stark calls for you, you answer. He wouldn't summon me without cause. Mormont is silent for a long moment, then he sighs. You're right. You haven't taken your vows. Technically, you're free to leave. But Snow, if you go south, you may never come back. Are you prepared for that? I don't know, Lord Commander, but I have to go. I have to know why. Mormont nods slowly. Then go. But Snow, if you find what you're looking for in the south and you decide the watch isn't your place, I understand. But if you come back all the way. No half measures. The Night's Watch deserves your full commitment or none at all. Yes, Lord Commander. I'll assign 2 rangers to escort you. The roads are dangerous. Mormont stands, extends his hand. Good luck, Jon Snow. Whatever waits for you in King's Landing, I hope you find what you're looking for. Jon shakes his hand. Thank you, Lord Commander. He leaves the chamber. His mind is racing. Why would Robert summon him? What could possibly have happened that requires a bastard boy from Winterfell? Outside, Ghost howls, a long, mournful sound that echoes off the wall. Jon doesn't know it yet, but he will never take those vows. Will never say the words that would have bound him to the Night's Watch forever. His life is about to change in ways he cannot imagine. The King's Road. Heading south, 5 days after leaving Castle Black. Jon rides with 2 rangers, silent men. Hard men. They don't ask questions, don't make conversation. Just ride, watch, protect. Ghost runs alongside, tireless. The direwolf covers twice the distance, ranging ahead, circling back, always alert. They pass through the north, through villages where people stare at the black cloaks, through forests where the trees are tall and old, through lands Jon has never seen. He grew up at Winterfell, never traveled far. Now the world is opening before him. At night, they camp. Jon lies awake, staring at the stars, thinking, what could Father want? What could be so important? Is someone hurt? Robb? Arya? Did something happen at Winterfell? Or is it about the king? Robert stayed at Winterfell, feasted with them, offered Father the position of hand. Maybe something went wrong in King's Landing. Maybe Father needs help. But why summon me? I'm just a bastard. What use could I be? The questions circle endlessly. No answers, just the road ahead and the mystery waiting at the end of it. They pass Winterfell. Jon can see the towers in the distance, his home. But they don't stop. The letter said immediately, There is no time for reunions. Through the neck, the swamps and bogs, Howland Reed's people watch from the trees, unseen. But Jon feels their eyes. Through the riverlands, past the twins, past Harrenhal, the great ruined castle where dragons burned a house to ash, a reminder that power has a price. And finally, after 2 weeks of riding, the smell hits them. 500,000 people packed into a city that was never meant to hold so many. The stench of sewage, of fish, of humanity pressed together. It makes Jon's eyes water. "Welcome to the capital," one of the rangers says. His first words in 2 weeks. Try not to breathe too deep. They enter through the gate of the gods. Guards check their papers, see the Night's Watch cloaks and wave them through. The streets are chaos. Merchants shouting, beggars pleading, gold cloaks patrolling, brothels advertising. The noise is overwhelming. Jon has never seen so many people. At Winterfell, you knew everyone. Here, you're invisible, just another face in the crowd. They ride through the streets toward the Red Keep. The castle looms above the city. Red stone walls, dragon skulls in the dungeons below. The seat of power for the Seven Kingdoms. Jon's stomach is tight. Whatever waits for him inside those walls, it will change everything. They are met at the Red Keep gate by Jory Cassel, father's captain. He looks tired, worn, like he hasn't slept in days. "Jon," Jory dismounts, grips Jon's arm. "Thank the gods, we've been waiting for you." "Jory, what's happened? Why did father summon me? Not here. Come, your father is waiting, and—" Jory hesitates. "The king wants to see you." Jon's heart pounds. "The king? Why?" "You'll understand soon enough. Come." They leave the horses with stable boys. The rangers are dismissed. They'll stay in the guards' quarters until Jon is ready to return north. If he returns north, Jory leads Jon through the Red Keep. Servants hurry past. Courtiers whisper. Everyone stares at Jon, at his bastard face. His northern clothes, the dire wolf at his heels. They pass through corridors, upstairs, until they reach a large door, guarded by 2 Kingsguard. Jon recognizes them from Winterfell, Sir Barristan Selmy and Ser Meryn Trant. Barristan nods to Jory. "He's here?" "He is." "Good." The king has been asking. Barristan looks at Jon, studies him. "Jon Snow, you've grown since Winterfell. Ser Barristan." Jon doesn't know what else to say. "You're about to enter the king's presence. Remember, kneel when you enter, speak only when spoken to, and whatever you're told in that room, it stays in that room. Understood? Jon Snow, your grace." Jon enters. His mouth is dry. His hands are shaking. The room is large, a solar, maps on the walls, a desk covered in papers, and 3 men waiting. King Robert Baratheon, massive, bearded, wearing the crown. He sits in a chair, not slouching, not drunk, alert, focused. Eddard Stark, father. He stands near the window. His face is drawn, worried. Ser Barristan Selmy. He enters behind Jon, closes the door, guards it. Jon drops to one knee. "Your grace." Slowly, he circles Jon, studying him from every angle. Jon keeps his head down, his heart hammering. "Stand up, boy." Jon stands, keeps his eyes lowered. "Look at me." Jon looks up, meets the king's eyes. Robert is staring at him, intent, searching for something. "You have her eyes," Robert says softly. "Gods, you have Lyanna's eyes." Jon blinks, confused. "Your grace, I don't understand. How old are you now, boy?" 16, your grace. 16. Same age she was when... Robert stops, shakes his head. "Do you know why I summoned you here?" "No, your grace." Robert glances at Ned. "Has he been told anything?" "Nothing," Ned says. "I thought it best if it came from you." Robert nods, turns back to Jon. "Jon Snow, I hereby strip you of the name Snow. It was always a lie. A necessary lie, but a lie nonetheless." Jon's mind is spinning. "Your grace, from this day forward you are Jon Baratheon, my son by blood and by law, my acknowledged heir, Prince of Dragonstone." The words make no sense. Jon stares. "I what?" "You heard me. You're my son now, legitimized by royal decree. And when I die, you will sit the Iron Throne." Jon looks at Ned. His father... No, not his father. Nothing makes sense anymore. Father? What is he saying? Ned steps forward. His face is gentle, sad. Jon, sit down. There's something you need to know about your mother. The Red Keep. Robert's solar minutes later. Jon sits. His hands are clenched. His mind is reeling. Ned speaks. Slow, careful. Every word chosen precisely. I am not your father, Jon. I'm your uncle. Your mother was my sister, Lyanna Stark. The room tilts. Jon can't breathe. Lyanna was betrothed to Robert, but she fell in love with someone else, Prince Rhaegar Targaryen. They married in secret, and you were born from that union. Jon's voice is a whisper. I'm a Targaryen. By blood, yes. But no one can know that, not yet. Perhaps not ever. Ned kneels in front of Jon, grips his shoulders. Your mother died bringing you into the world. At the Tower of Joy, she made me promise to protect you, to hide you, because if Robert knew you were Rhaegar's son, you would have been killed. So I claimed you as my bastard. Let the world think you were mine. Let Catelyn hate me for it, because that was the only way to keep you alive. Jon can't process this. My mother was Lyanna Stark. My father was Rhaegar Targaryen. You're not my father, you're my uncle. He looks up at Ned. Everything I believed about myself is a lie, a protection. I raised you, Jon. I loved you as my own. That was never false. But I'm not a Stark, I'm a Targaryen. Jon stands, stumbles. I'm the son of the man who started a war, the man who got my mother killed. I'm your Lyanna's son, Robert interrupts. His voice is firm. That's all that matters to me. Jon turns, stares at Robert. You're legitimizing me? Even knowing I'm Rhaegar's son, the man you hated most in the world? I'm legitimizing you because you're Lyanna's son. Because she was the only woman I ever loved. Because when she died, something in me died with her. And now, Robert's voice breaks slightly. Now I find out she had a child. That a part of her still exists in this world. And I'll be damned if I let that go to waste. But the realm will never accept a Targaryen heir. The realm will accept who I tell them to accept. And I'm telling them you're Jon Baratheon, my son, my heir. The Targaryen blood stays secret, between the three of us and Howland Reed. No one else. Jon shakes his head. I can't. This is too much. Yesterday I was taking vows at the wall. Today I'm a prince. This doesn't make sense. I know it doesn't, Ned says gently. But Jon, listen to me. Robert needs an heir. His children, the ones he thought were his, they're not his. They're Lannister bastards, born of incest between Queen Cersei and her brother Jaime. Robert has no legitimate children, no heirs. The succession is empty. Then it should go to his brothers, Stannis, Renly, not to me. Stannis is, Robert grimaces. Stannis is lawful, dutiful, and utterly joyless. He would be a terrible king. Renly is too young, too inexperienced, but you, Jon, you were raised by Ned Stark. You have honor, integrity, northern blood. You're exactly what the realm needs. I'm 16 years old. I don't know how to be a prince. I don't know how to be a king. Neither did I when I took the throne, Robert says. But I'll teach you. You have time, boy. I'm not dead yet. I'll train you, prepare you, and when I'm gone, you'll be ready. Jon looks between them. Robert, Ned, two men he respects more than anyone, both telling him his life has changed, that he's not a bastard, not Jon Snow. He's someone else entirely. I need time, Jon says. His voice is shaking. I need to think. It's too much. I know, Robert says. But time is something we don't have a lot of. The Lannisters are in the dungeons, but their father Tywin commands 60,000 men. When he learns what I've done, he'll come for them. And we need to be ready. We need the succession secure. We need you acknowledged, official, before the war starts. War, Robert confirms. This is the price of truth, Jon, the price of justice. Sometimes the right thing costs blood. Jon sits back down, his head is spinning. Everything he thought he knew is gone. His name, his parentage, his future. All of it changed in minutes. What do I do? Jon asks quietly. What do I need to do? Robert smiles, a genuine smile, warm. First, you accept, you agree to be legitimized, to take the name Baratheon, to be my heir, and, if I refuse, then the throne passes to Stannis, and you go back to the wall. Take your vows, Live as a brother of the Night's Watch. Robert's face is serious. I won't force you, Jon. This is your choice. But I'm asking you, for Lyanna, for the realm, for everything your mother died to give you. I'm asking you to accept. Jon looks at Ned. What do you think I should do? Ned is quiet for a moment. Then, I think Lyanna would want you to live, Jon, not hide at the wall. Not bury yourself in service to avoid your destiny. She died to bring you into this world. I think she would want you to embrace what you can become. Jon closes his eyes, takes a breath. His whole life he's been a bastard, Jon Snow. No name, no future, just a shadow of House Stark, living on the edges, never quite belonging. Now he's being offered legitimacy, a name, a throne. But it's not his throne, it's Lyanna's, the mother he never knew, the woman who died for him. He opens his eyes. I accept. I was half afraid you'd refuse. I have conditions, Jon says. His voice is stronger now. If I'm going to be your heir, I need to know what that means. What you expect of me, what I'm agreeing to. Robert laughs, a real laugh, surprised, pleased. Gods, you do sound like Ned. All right, boy, what are your conditions? First, I want to know the truth about my mother. Everything. Not just the story. I want to know who she was, what she was like, what she believed. Ned and I will tell you everything. Second, I want to know what you plan to do with the Lannister children. Joffrey, Myrcella, Tommen, they're innocent in this. They didn't choose their parents. Robert's face hardens. They're bastards, born of incest, they have no claim, but they're children, and you said you almost executed them. I need to know they'll be safe. Robert is silent, then nods slowly. They'll be exiled, sent to Casterly Rock, to live as Lannisters, not Baratheons, but they'll live. I give you my word. Third, I want to be trained, properly, not just in swordplay, in everything. Politics, strategy, history. If I'm going to rule, I need to understand what I'm ruling. Done. I'll assign you tutors, maesters. You'll learn everything you need. And fourth, Jon hesitates. I want Ghost with me, the direwolf. He goes where I go. Robert grins. A prince with a direwolf. The North will love that. Agreed. Jon stands, extends his hand. Then I accept. I'll be your heir. I'll be Jon Baratheon. Robert takes his hand, shakes it. His grip is firm. Welcome to the family, son. The Red Keep. The Great Hall. 3 days later, the hall is packed. Every lord in King's Landing. Every bannerman who could be summoned on short notice. Northern lords who came south with Ned. Riverlands lords loyal to the Tullys. Stormlands lords loyal to Robert. Over 300 nobles, all gathered to witness something unprecedented. At the center of the hall, 3 prisoners stand in chains. Joffrey Waters, no longer Prince Joffrey, just a bastard. Golden-haired, wearing a plain tunic, his face is puffy from crying. His eyes are hollow, 13 years old, and his world has ended. Myrcella Waters, 11, confused, frightened. She doesn't understand what's happening, just that her mother is gone and men are calling her a bastard. Tommen Waters, 8, holding his sister's hand, trying not to cry. Robert sits on the Iron Throne, the crown on his head, his face is stone. Ned stands at the base of the throne. Beside him, Jon, dressed now in fine clothes, black and gold, the Baratheon colors, a crowned stag on his chest. He looks like a prince, even if he doesn't feel like one. Robert speaks. His voice carries through the hall. Lords of the 7 kingdoms, I have called you here to witness justice. For 15 years I have been deceived. For 15 years I believed the children born to Cersei Lannister were mine. Today I present evidence that they are not. Now they're about to hear the truth. Ned steps forward. He holds the Book of Lineages, opens it, shows the pages to the court. The Baratheon bloodline, Ned says. For 300 years every Baratheon has had black hair. No exceptions. King Robert's acknowledged bastards, all of them, have black hair. He gestures to 3 young people standing nearby. Gendry, Bella, Maya Stone. All with Robert's features, all with black hair. But the children he believed were his? Golden, Lannister gold. The crowd erupts, shouts, questions. Ned raises his hand, silence falls. Lord Jon Arryn investigated this before his death. He visited forges, brothels, questioned witnesses. He discovered the truth, and he was poisoned for it. Murdered by those who wanted the lie to continue. Robert stands. I have the testimony of servants, of handmaidens, of maesters, all confirming what the evidence shows. Cersei Lannister committed adultery with her own twin brother, Sir Jaime Lannister. The children born of their incest are not my heirs. They are bastards, and they have no claim to my throne. Joffrey screams, "This is a lie. I am the prince. I am your son." Robert descends the steps, walks to Joffrey, looks down at him. "You are not my son," Robert says quietly, coldly. "You are nothing." The words echo. Joffrey collapses, sobbing, broken. Robert turns back to the court. Let it be known throughout the Seven Kingdoms. Joffrey Waters, Myrcella Waters, and Tommen Waters are not of my blood. They have no claim to the Iron Throne. They are bastards born of incest, and they will be exiled to Casterly Rock, to live as wards of House Lannister. They will never be harmed, but they will never return to King's Landing. The Lannister children are led away, still weeping. The court watches in silence. This is history. This is the fall of a dynasty. When they are gone, Robert continues. But I do not leave the Seven Kingdoms without an heir. Every eye in the hall fixes on Robert. I have chosen my heir. A boy I should have known was mine from the beginning. A boy with northern blood, with honor, with everything the realm needs in a king. Robert gestures. Jon steps forward, his heart pounding. Every eye now on him. Jon Snow is not Eddard Stark's bastard, Robert says. He is Eddard Stark's nephew. His mother was Lyanna Stark, the woman I was to marry, the woman I loved more than my own life. Gasps. Whispers. The revelation hits the court like a hammer. Lyanna died giving birth to Jon, and Eddard, in his honor and his loyalty, claimed the boy as his own, protected him, raised him. But Jon is not a bastard. He is Lyanna's legitimate son, and I am adopting him into my house, into my family. Robert places his hand on Jon's shoulder. Jon Baratheon, Prince of Dragonstone, heir to the Iron Throne. Kneel. Jon kneels. His hands are shaking. The entire court is watching. History is being made. Robert draws his sword, places it on Jon's shoulder. By the authority vested in me as King of the Seven Kingdoms, I declare you Jon Baratheon, true-born son of House Baratheon, all rights and privileges attendant thereto. Rise, Prince Jon. The sword is lifted. He is no longer a bastard, no longer Jon Snow. He is Jon Baratheon, Prince of Dragonstone, heir to the Iron Throne. The northern lords erupt in cheers. The prince in the north, the silver stag. The cry spreads. Even the southern lords join. Not from love, from political calculation. The king has made his choice. To oppose Jon now is to oppose the crown. The prince in the north, the silver stag. Overwhelmed, terrified, but alive, acknowledged. For the first time in his life, he has a name that matters. A place that's truly his. Robert leans close, whispers so only Jon can hear. She would be so proud of you, boy. Lyanna would be so proud. Jon's eyes burn. He has never known his mother, but somehow in this moment he feels her pride, her love. He is Jon Baratheon now, the silver stag, the prince in the north, and his life is only beginning. Casterly Rock, the Westerlands, 298 AC, 5 days after Jon's legitimization. Tywin Lannister sits in his solar. The letter from King's Landing lies on his desk. He has read it 4 times. Each time the words do not change. Lord Tywin Lannister, your daughter Cersei and your son Jaime have been arrested for high treason. The charges: adultery, incest, conspiracy to murder Lord Jon Arryn, and deceiving the king regarding the parentage of the royal children. The evidence is conclusive. Joffrey, Myrcella, and Tommen have been declared bastards and exiled to your care. Furthermore, King Robert has legitimized Jon Snow, now Jon Baratheon, as his heir and Prince of Dragonstone. You have 1 moon's turn to present yourself at King's Landing to answer for your house's crimes. Failure to comply will result in your attainder and the forfeiture of all Lannister lands and titles. Robert Baratheon, first of his name. Tywin's face shows nothing, 60 years of mastering his expressions. But inside, everything is collapsing. Not grief. Tywin Lannister does not grieve. Recognition that everything he built, the restoration of House Lannister's reputation after his father's shame, the placement of his daughter as queen, the securing of his grandchildren's succession to the Iron Throne, has been destroyed, not by enemies, by his own children's inability to control themselves. Kevan Lannister stands nearby, waiting. Tywin's younger brother knows better than to speak first. Finally, Tywin looks up. Call the banners. Kevan blinks. Brother, you cannot be serious. This is... Call the banners, Tywin repeats. His voice is flat, cold. Every sword, every man. I want 40,000 men ready to march within 2 weeks. Tywin, if you march on King's Landing, you'll be fighting the entire realm. Robert has the north, the riverlands through the Tullys, the Stormlands. We'll be alone, isolated. Then we find allies. Tywin stands, walks to the window, looks out at Casterly Rock, the fortress his father nearly lost, the seat he has spent his life defending. Send a raven to Highgarden, tell Mace Tyrell I have a proposition. What proposition, Joffrey for Marjorie? A marriage alliance? The Tyrells want their daughter to be queen. I'll give them that. In exchange for their armies, Kevan's face is troubled. Joffrey has been declared a bastard. He has no claim to the throne. Why would the Tyrells support him? Because if we win, I'll make sure he sits the Iron Throne anyway. Robert's decree means nothing if Robert is dead, and his bastard heir means even less. Tywin turns. His eyes are ice. I will not let House Lannister become a cautionary tale. I will not let our name be destroyed by Robert's rage. If he wants war, I will give him war. And Cersei, Jaime, Tywin's jaw tightens. We get them back. Alive if possible, their bodies if not. But we do not leave them in Robert's hands. Kevan nods slowly. This is madness, Tywin. You know that. Madness is accepting this humiliation. Madness is letting the Lannisters fade into history as the house that was destroyed by a drunken king's wounded pride. Tywin walks to his desk, begins writing. I am not mad, Kevan. I am practical, and right now, practicality demands that we fight. Highgarden, the Reach. 1 week later, Olenna Tyrell sits in her garden, the Queen of Thorns, sharp, cunning. She has outlived 3 husbands and raised a fool for a son. But she is no fool herself. Mace Tyrell stands before her, her son, Lord of Highgarden, a man who thinks himself clever but is merely ambitious. He holds Tywin's letter. Mother, this is our chance. Tywin Lannister is offering Joffrey for Marjorie. If we support him, if we help restore the Lannisters, Marjorie becomes queen. Olenna sips her wine. Joffrey waters. A bastard boy with no name and no throne, what a prize. But if we help Tywin win, Olenna interrupts, we become traitors to the crown, enemies of House Baratheon, enemies of the North, the Riverlands, the Stormlands. We risk everything, Mace. For what? The slim chance that Tywin can defeat Robert Baratheon? Robert is one man. Tywin is offering 50,000 gold dragons, and if we combine our forces with his, we'll have 70,000 men, more than enough to take King's Landing. Robert is not alone. He has Eddard Stark, the greatest military mind in the 7 kingdoms. He has the loyalty of half the realm, and he has something Tywin doesn't have. Olenna sets down her wine. He has justice on his side. The people will support Robert, because Cersei Lannister's crime is undeniable. She cuckolded the king with her own brother. That is not politics. That is treason. So we refuse Tywin's offer? I didn't say that. Olenna smiles, thin, sharp. Tell Tywin we'll consider his offer, but we want guarantees. Gold, lands, titles, and most importantly, we want assurances that if this war goes badly, House Tyrell will not be held accountable. We need a way out, Mace. Always a way out. And if Tywin refuses, then we know he's desperate. And desperate men make mistakes. Olenna leans back. For now, we wait. We watch. We see how the realm responds to Robert's decree. If the other houses support Jon Baratheon, we side with Robert. If they waver, if there's doubt, then perhaps we throw our lot in with Tywin. Mace frowns. Mother, we can't play both sides forever. No, but we can play them long enough to see which side is winning. That's called wisdom, Mace. You should try it sometime. Training yard. 3 weeks after Jon's legitimization, Jon swings the practice sword, his muscles scream. Sweat pours down his face. Across from him, Sir Barristan Selmy moves like water, effortless, precise. Every strike perfectly placed. Again, Barristan says. Jon attacks, Barristan parries. Counters. The wooden sword taps Jon's ribs. Not hard, just a reminder. You're dead. You're thinking too much, Barristan says. Combat is not a calculation, it's instinct. Let your body move. Jon nods, gasping for breath. They've been at this for 2 hours. His arms feel like lead. Robert watches from the side. Arms crossed, grinning. He's getting better, Barristan. I can see it. He has natural talent. Barristan agrees. But talent without training is just potential. We're forging the potential into skill. How long before he's ready? For what, Your Grace? For war, because war is coming. Tywin will march, and when he does, Jon needs to be able to defend himself. Barristan studies Jon. Months, maybe a year. He's young, but he learns fast. Robert claps his hands. Enough for today. Jon, come. We have other lessons. Jon gratefully lowers the practice sword. His hands are blistered. His body aches, but he's improving. He can feel it. The movements that felt impossible 3 weeks ago are becoming natural. They walk through the Red Keep, past courtiers who bow, past servants who whisper. Jon is still adjusting to the attention, to being someone who matters. Robert leads him to the small council chamber. Inside, Ned waits, and another man, thin, balding, sharp eyes. Jon, this is Grand Maester Pycelle. He'll be teaching you history, lineages, the laws of succession. Pycelle bows. Your Grace, my prince. It is an honor. Jon nods. Grand Maester, for the next 2 hours, Pycelle lectures the history of the 7 kingdoms, the conquest, the dance of dragons, the Blackfire rebellions. The lesson Jon is supposed to learn: legitimized bastards can be dangerous, can tear the realm apart. Which is why, Pycelle says carefully, some maesters argue that legitimization should be used sparingly, only in cases where the succession is absolutely secure. Are you saying I shouldn't have been legitimized? Jon asks. Pycelle's eyes widen. No, my prince, not at all. I merely meant, he means, Robert interrupts, that the maesters prefer clear lines of succession, legitimate heirs, not complications. He looks at Pycelle, but sometimes the clear line is broken. Sometimes you have to make a new path. That's what kings do. Pycelle bows. Of course, Your Grace. When the lesson ends, Jon is exhausted. His head is full of names, dates, battles. It's overwhelming. Ned finds him in the Godswood, the only place in King's Landing that feels like home. A heart tree, red leaves, a pool of water. How are you managing? Ned asks. Jon sits on a stone bench. I don't know. Every day I learn something new, something that reminds me how little I know, how unprepared I am. You're doing well, Jon, better than you realize. Am I? Jon looks up. 3 weeks ago I was nobody. Now I'm a prince, the heir to the throne. And everyone expects me to know what I'm doing, to be ready. But I'm not ready, Father. I'm not. He stops. Can I still call you that, Father? Ned sits beside him. You can call me whatever you want, Jon. I raised you. I love you. That doesn't change because we share a different bloodline than we thought. But I'm not a Stark. You're half Stark. Lyanna's son. That's as much Stark as Robb or Arya. Ned places his hand on Jon's shoulder. You're my nephew by blood, but you're my son by everything that matters. That will never change. He blinks hard. I wish I could have known her, my mother. She would have loved you. Fiercely, the way she loved everything. Ned is quiet for a moment. She was wild, Jon. Not in a bad way, but she had this fire. This refusal to accept limits. When we were children, she wanted to learn the sword. Father said no, so she learned anyway, in secret. She was better than me by the time she was 10. Jon smiles. Really? Really. She was fearless, reckless sometimes, but brave. So brave. Ned's voice is soft, distant. Rhaegar saw that in her. That wildness, that fire. He loved her for it, and she loved him because he saw her as more than just a lady, more than just a prize to be won. Do you think Jon hesitates? Do you think I'm like her? Ned looks at him. Yes, I see her in you every day, the way you question things, the way you refuse to accept injustice, the way you care even when it's easier not to. That's all Lyanna. And the rest? Is that Rhaegar? Ned considers. I didn't know Rhaegar well, but from what I've heard, he was thoughtful, melancholic. He read too much, thought too much, let prophecies guide his actions instead of practical sense. He pauses. If you have that in you, Jon, be careful. Don't let visions of the future blind you to the present. I'll try. They sit in silence. The Godswood is peaceful, quiet. For a moment, Jon can pretend he's still at Winterfell, still just a boy, not a prince, not an heir. Just Jon. But those days are gone, and they're never coming back. The King's Road, heading south. 6 weeks after Jon's legitimization, Tywin Lannister rides at the head of 30,000 men, the Lannister host, crimson and gold banners snapping in the wind, knights in armor, foot soldiers with spears, siege engines, supply wagons, an army ready for war. Behind them, another 40,000, the Tyrell forces. Green and gold Mace Tyrell commands them personally. He rides near Tywin, talking, planning confident. Olenna refused to come. She stayed at Highgarden. To manage affairs, she said. But Tywin knows the truth. The old woman is hedging. If this campaign fails, she can claim ignorance, distance herself, save House Tyrell. Tywin doesn't care. He has 70,000 men, more than enough to take King's Landing, to free his children, to destroy Robert's legitimized bastard, and restore the natural order. Kevin rides beside him. Brother. Scouts report Robert is fortifying King's Landing, bringing in supplies, calling levies from the Stormlands and Crownlands. He's preparing for a siege. A siege only works if the walls hold. And we have the numbers to break them. Robert also sent ravens to the north and the Riverlands. Reinforcements are coming. They'll arrive too late. Tywin's voice is certain. We move quickly. We strike before the realm can unify against us. We take King's Landing within 2 weeks. Present Robert with a choice: surrender Cersei and Jaime, or watch his city burn. And if he refuses, then we take the city by force, and we execute Robert's bastard in front of him before we take his head. Then, you realize this might destroy us. Even if we win, half the realm will never accept it. We'll be fighting rebellions for a generation. Then we'll fight for a generation. Tywin's jaw is set, but we will not be remembered as the house that knelt, that accepted humiliation, that let our children die in dungeons because we were too afraid to act. The host marches on, toward King's Landing, toward war, toward a battle that will decide the fate of the 7 kingdoms. King's Landing, the Red Keep, War Council, 7 weeks after Jon's legitimization. The council chamber is crowded. Robert sits at the head. Around him, Ned Stark, Stannis Baratheon, Jon Baratheon, Barristan Selmy, and several military commanders. Maps are spread on the table, showing the King's Road, the approaches to the city, the defensive positions. Tywin has 70,000 men, Ned says. The Tyrells joined him. Our scouts confirmed it 2 days ago. How many do we have? Robert asks. 8,000 gold cloaks, 5,000 Crownlands levies, 10,000 Stormlanders, 3,000 Riverlanders who arrived yesterday, Ned calculates. 26,000, less than half of Tywin's force. Then we need more men. What about the north? Robb is gathering the northern host, 20,000, but it will take them a month to march south, maybe more. We don't have a month. Tywin will be here within a week. Robert stands, paces. We can't meet him in the field. We'd be slaughtered. Our only chance is to hold the city. Make him bleed for every wall, every gate, every street. Stannis speaks. He arrived 3 days ago. Gaunt, severe. The city walls are strong, but they weren't built to withstand a siege of this magnitude. Tywin has siege towers, rams. He'll break through eventually. Then we make it cost him. Robert says. We put every able man on the walls. We stock the towers with arrows, oil, stones. We turn King's Landing into a fortress, and we hold until the north arrives. What about the people? Jon asks. Everyone turns to look at him. He's been quiet most of the meeting, listening, learning. But now he speaks. There are 500,000 people in King's Landing. If we're besieged, they'll starve. Tywin will use that against us. Robert's face darkens. You're right. Damn it, you're right. We need to evacuate non-combatants, Jon continues. Women, children, the elderly. Send them to Duskendale, to Rosby, anywhere with food and shelter. Keep only fighters and essential workers. Ned looks at Jon with something like pride. That's wise counsel. It's also impossible, Stannis says flatly. Moving 500,000 people? It would take weeks. Create chaos. And where would they go? Every nearby castle is already full from lords bringing their people in for protection. Then we move as many as we can, Jon says, and we ration for the rest. It's better than doing nothing. Robert nods. Do it. Ned, coordinate the evacuation. Stannis, you'll command the walls. Barristan, you'll lead the gold cloaks. And Jon, he looks at his heir, you'll be with me at the mudgate, the weakest point in our defenses. If it falls, the city falls. Jon's stomach tightens. Your Grace, I've only been training for a few weeks, and in a few days you'll get real experience. War doesn't wait until you're ready, boy. It comes when it comes, and you either fight or you die. The meeting continues. Plans are made, orders given, but Jon barely hears it. His mind is racing. He's going to fight in a real battle against 70,000 men. And if he fails, everything, Robert's plan, the succession, the realm's stability, fails with him. King's Landing, the walls. The day before the battle, Jon stands on the walls overlooking the mudgate. Below, the city spreads out. Thousands of buildings, narrow streets, the smell of humanity pressed together. Beyond the walls, the land is empty. Cleared. Robert's orders. Every building within 100 yards of the walls was torn down, every tree cut, nothing to give attackers cover. Ghost sits beside Jon. The dire wolf is huge now, as tall as Jon's chest, white fur, red eyes. A creature of the north in a southern city. Are you afraid? A voice asks. Jon turns. Robb stands there. His brother, his cousin, arrived yesterday with an advance force from the north. 5,000 men, not the full northern host, but enough to make a difference. Terrified, Jon admits. Robb grins. Good. Father says the only men who aren't afraid in battle are fools and dead men. They stand together, looking out at the horizon. Somewhere out there, Tywin's army is marching, getting closer every hour. I'm glad you're here, Jon says quietly. Where else would I be? Your family, Jon. Stark blood. And now you're also a prince. The North follows you. I don't know how to be what they need me to be. Then be what you've always been. Honorable, brave, loyal. That's all anyone can ask. Jon looks at his brother. When this is over, if we survive, I want you to come to court. Be my advisor, someone I can trust. Robb's grin fades. Jon, I'm the heir to Winterfell. My place is in the north, and my place was at the wall. But things change. Plans change. Please, Robb. I need family around me, people who knew me before all this, who remember Jon Snow, not just Prince Jon. Robb is quiet, then nods. All right, when this is over, I'll stay, for a while at least. Thank you. They stand together as the sun sets. Two boys about to become men, about to fight a battle that will determine their futures. The night before the storm. The Battle of the Mudgate. Dawn. They come with the sunrise. 70,000 men. Lannister crimson and Tyrell green. The banners fill the horizon. Drums beat. War horns sound. The ground shakes with the march of thousands of feet. Jon stands at the mudgate. Robert beside him, around them, 2,000 defenders, gold cloaks, Northmen, Riverlanders, men who will fight, who will die if necessary. This is it, Robert says. His warhammer is in his hands, his armor gleams. When they come, we hold. No matter what, we hold until Ned signals the counterattack. What counterattack? Jon asks. Robert grins. You'll see. The Lannister army stops 500 yards from the walls. Siege towers are wheeled forward. Rams. Archers move into position. A rider approaches under a white flag. Tywin Lannister. He rides to within shouting distance of the walls. Robert Baratheon. Tywin's voice carries. I offer terms. Release my children. Abdicate in favor of your true heir Stannis Baratheon. And I will spare the city. Refuse, and I will burn King's Landing to ash. You have until midday to decide. Robert steps to the edge of the wall, looks down at Tywin. I have terms for you, Lannister. Disband your army, present yourself to face justice, and I might let you die quickly instead of slowly. You have until I finish this sentence to decide. Tywin's face hardens. So be it. He turns, rides back to his lines. The drums begin again, louder, faster. Here they come, someone shouts. The Lannister host charges, thousands of men running toward the walls. Arrows fly from the walls. From the attackers, the sky darkens with shafts. "Archers!" Robert roars. "Loose!" The defenders fire. Lannister soldiers fall, but more keep coming. Always more. The rams hit the mudgate. The impact shakes the wall. Again. Again. The wood begins to splinter. "Oil," Robert orders. Cauldrons of boiling oil are poured over the walls. Men scream. Burn. Die. But the rams keep hitting. Jon watches in horror. This is war. Not the clean practice yard. Not wooden swords and rules. This is blood. Screaming. Death. A ladder slams against the wall near Jon. A Lannister soldier climbs. Reaches the top. Jon's sword is in his hand. He doesn't remember drawing it. The soldier swings. Jon parries. The training takes over. Body moving without thought. He strikes. The soldier falls, screaming. Jon stares at his bloody sword. He just killed a man. His first kill. "Focus," Robert shouts. More coming. More ladders. More soldiers. The wall becomes a melee. Steel on steel. Men fighting. Dying. Falling. The mudgate cracks. The ram has broken through. Lannister soldiers pour into the breach. "Fall back," Robert orders. To the secondary line. The defenders retreat to a barricade 30 yards behind the gate. Stone, wood, hastily built but strong. The Lannisters charge through. Robert meets them. His warhammer crushes helmets, breaks shields. He fights like a demon, like the warrior he was 20 years ago. Jon is beside him, fighting, his sword wet with blood, his arms screaming, but he doesn't stop. Can't stop. They hold the line, barely. Then a horn sounds. From the north, a different horn, Ned Stark's horn. The northern cavalry appears. 5,000 horse, led by Ned himself. They slam into the Lannister rear, cutting through, scattering. The Lannisters are caught between the barricade and the cavalry, pinned. Unable to advance or retreat, Tywin sees what's happening, calls the retreat. His forces pull back, leaving their dead behind. The first assault is over. Jon collapses against the barricade. His hands are shaking, his chest heaving. He's covered in blood, some his, most not. Robert kneels beside him. "You all right, boy? I killed them. I killed men. You defended your city, your people. That's what kings do, Jon. They fight. They kill when they must, and they bear the weight of it afterward." Robert grips his shoulder. "You did well. Lyanna would be proud." Jon looks up, sees Robert's face, sees pride there, and something else. Respect. He nods. "Thank you." On the third day, Tywin pulls back. His forces have lost 10,000 men. The Tyrells are wavering. Mace Tyrell sends a rider under white flag, offering to withdraw. To remain neutral, Tywin refuses. But that night, the Tyrell forces pull back anyway. Olenna's orders. She saw which way the wind was blowing. Tywin cannot win this siege, and House Tyrell will not be dragged down with him. Without the Tyrells, Tywin has 30,000 men, and King's Landing's defenders have been reinforced. The full northern host arrived, 20,000 fresh troops. Tywin is outnumbered now, and he knows it. On the fourth day, he sends another rider, this time with a different message. Lord Tywin Lannister requests terms of surrender. King's Landing. The Red Keep, throne room, 1 week after the battle. Tywin Lannister kneels before the Iron Throne. His hands are bound. His face is stone. Around him the court watches. Lords, ladies, soldiers. All gathered to see the end of the Lion of Lannister. Robert sits on the throne. His face is hard. "Tywin Lannister, you marched on King's Landing with an army. You attacked the city. You killed 5,000 men defending their homes. You did this to free your children. Traitors who dishonored the crown, who poisoned the succession, who murdered to keep their secrets. I did what any father would do," Tywin says. His voice is steady. "My children were imprisoned, threatened with execution. I acted to protect my house. Your house committed treason. My children's actions do not define House Lannister. No, but yours do, and you chose war. You chose to burn the realm rather than accept justice." Robert stands, descends the steps, stands before Tywin. "I could execute you. I should execute you, but I'm going to offer you something your children never gave me. Mercy." Tywin looks up, surprised. "You will be stripped of Casterly Rock, stripped of your titles. The Western lands will be governed by a royal warden until I appoint a new lord. You will be sent to Casterly Rock and confined there for the remainder of your life. You will watch your legacy become a warning, and you will die knowing everything you built, I tore down. And my children? Robert's face hardens. Bring them in. Guards enter, leading Cersei and Jaime, both in chains, both thin, dirty, broken by months in the black cells. Cersei sees Tywin, kneeling, defeated. Her face crumples. Father, Cersei Lannister. Jaime Lannister. Robert's voice echoes. You have been found guilty of high treason, adultery, incest, conspiracy to murder, and attempted regicide. The sentence is death. Cersei screams. No, Father, do something. You can't let him. I can do nothing, Tywin says quietly. His voice is dead. I tried, Cersei, and I failed. Jaime says nothing, just looks at Cersei, memorizing her face one last time. Take them to the courtyard, Robert orders. Let it be done quickly, cleanly. They deserve that much. The guards lead them away. Cersei is still screaming. Jaime walks in silence. Tywin remains kneeling, watching his children leave. For the last time, you may go, Robert says, back to Casterly Rock. To your prison. Think about what your pride cost you. Tywin stands. Slowly, he looks at Robert, then at Jon, standing near the throne, the boy who replaced his grandchildren. You won, Tywin says. Enjoy it while you can. Winter is coming, Your Grace. And when it does, the realm will need lions. Not stags, not wolves. Lions, and there will be none left. He turns, walks from the throne room, his back straight, his head high, defeated but not broken. When he is gone, Robert sits heavily. It's done. The Lannisters are finished. Jon is acknowledged, accepted. The realm has seen him fight, seen him bleed for King's Landing. They respect him now. Robert looks at Jon. How do you feel, boy? Jon thinks. About the battle, the blood, the weight of the crown that will someday be his. Like I have no idea what I'm doing, Jon says honestly. But I'm willing to learn. Robert laughs. That's the smartest thing I've heard in years. Come here. Better than me. Better than any of us. Because you actually give a damn about getting it right. I hope so, Your Grace. I know so. 5 years later, 303 AC, Robert Baratheon lies in his bed, dying. Not from a boar, not from assassination, from time, from wounds that never fully healed, from a body worn out by 17 years of kingship and a lifetime of war. Ned is there, Jon, Stannis, the people who matter, Jon, Robert says. His voice is weak. Come here. Jon kneels beside the bed. Robert is pale, gaunt, a shadow of the warrior he once was. You're ready, Robert says. I know you don't think you are, but you're ready. Your Grace, no, listen to me. I have one last thing to tell you. About your father, Rhaegar. Robert's hand grips Jon's. Weak but insistent. He was not the monster I thought he was. I know that now. Lyanna loved him, and that means he was worth something. So don't hate him, Jon. Don't hate half of yourself. I don't, Your Grace, because you're going to need all of yourself for what's coming. The realm needs a king who is whole, who accepts what he is. All of it, Stark and Targaryen, wolf and dragon, ice and fire. I'll try. Don't try. Do. Robert's breathing is labored. Promise me, Jon. Promise me you'll be the king I never was, the king the realm deserves. I promise. Robert smiles. Good boy, Lyanna's boy. Tell her I kept my promise. I gave her son the throne. His eyes close. His breathing slows, then stops. Robert Baratheon is dead. Long live King Jon, King's Landing, the great sept of Baelor, the coronation. The sept is packed, every lord in the 7 kingdoms, every bannerman who could travel. They have come to see history, to witness the crowning of a new king. Jon kneels before the high septon. He wears black and gold, the Baratheon stag on his chest, a white dire wolf on his cloak. Northern and southern united, the crown is placed on his head. Heavy, gold, the weight of the realm. I name you Jon of House Baratheon, first of his name, King of the Andals, the Rhoynar and the First Men, Lord of the 7 kingdoms, and protector of the realm. Faces the crowd. For a moment there is silence. Then the northern lords begin to chant, "The king in the north, the silver stag." The Riverlands lords join, then the Stormlands, then all of them, the entire realm united. The king in the north, the silver stag, he is 21 years old. He has been a prince for 5 years, but now he is king, and he has no idea how to do this, but he will learn. He will try, he will be the king Robert believed he could be. For Lyanna, for the realm, for everyone who believed in him when he was just a bastard with no name. The Red Keep, the small council chamber. 1 month after the coronation, Jon sits at the head of the table. Around him, Ned Stark, his hand, Stannis Baratheon, master of ships, Robb Stark, master of laws, Barristan Selmy, Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. "There are reports from the north," Ned says. "The Night's Watch is requesting more men, more supplies. They say something is moving beyond the wall." "What kind of something?" Jon asks. "They don't say, just that the wildlings are fleeing south, that the ranging parties aren't returning, that it's colder than it should be." Jon feels something stir, a memory, a dream. White Walkers, the long night, stories old Nan used to tell. "We send them what they need," Jon says. "Double the watch's supplies, triple if necessary. And I'm going to visit. Soon. I want to see the wall myself. Talk to the Lord Commander." Stannis frowns. "A king does not travel to the wall. It's beneath your station. A king goes where he's needed," Jon says firmly. "And if something is coming from the north, I need to see it for myself." The meeting continues, but Jon's mind is elsewhere, thinking about the wall, about the stories, about the cold winds that blow from the north. Winter is coming, and Jon Baratheon will be ready. The wall. Castle Black, 6 months after the coronation, Jon stands on top of the wall looking north, at the endless white expanse beyond. Ghost is beside him. The direwolf senses something, growls low in his throat. "What do you see, Your Grace?" Lord Commander Mormont asks. "Nothing," Jon says, "but that's what worries me. The wildlings are gone, fled south, or disappeared. The lands beyond the wall are empty. Nothing is ever empty. Something scared them." Mormont nods. "That's what I think too, and I've been here 40 years. I've never seen the wildlings this frightened." Jon is quiet. Then, "I'm sending reinforcements. 5,000 men. Supplies for 10 years. New weapons, whatever you need. Your Grace, the realm won't understand. The wall is a punishment post, a place for criminals and bastards." Mormont stops. "Forgive me." "I was almost one of your criminals and bastards," Jon says. "If Robert hadn't summoned me, I'd have taken my vows. So yes, I understand, but I also know this. The wall is the most important structure in the 7 kingdoms, because whatever is beyond it, whatever is coming, it will kill us all if we're not ready. You believe the old stories. I believe in being prepared." Jon turns, looks at Mormont. "Tell me everything, every legend, every tale, about the long night, the White Walkers, all of it." Mormont tells him, and Jon listens, planning, preparing, because he is King Jon Baratheon, the Silver Stag, the prince who was promised, and he will not let the realm fall, not on his watch. 10 years later, 313 AC, King Jon sits in the Godswood of the Red Keep. Older now, 31, he has ruled for 10 years. 10 years of peace, of prosperity, of preparation. He married Marjorie Tyrell, a political match that brought the Reach into the fold. They have 3 children, Eddard, Lyanna, Robert. The succession is secure. The North loves him, the South respects him. The realm is united in ways it hasn't been in generations. And he has fortified the wall, sent men, supplies, built forges to make dragon glass weapons. Because the warnings from beyond the wall continue, growing stronger every year. Ned approaches, older too, gray in his beard, but still strong, still wise. Jon, a raven from Castle Black. Jon takes the letter, reads. His face goes pale. They're coming, the White Walkers, the army of the dead. Lord Commander Mormont estimates 100,000, maybe more. They'll reach the wall within a fortnight. Ned's face is grim. Then we march, now. Yes, send ravens to every lord in the 7 kingdoms. Call the banners, every man who can hold a sword. We march north. And we end this, once and for all. You don't have to go yourself, Jon. Send commanders. No. Jon's voice is steel. I am the king. My place is with my men, leading them, fighting beside them. I will not ask them to die for me while I sit safe in King's Landing. Ned studies his face, then nods. Lyanna would be proud. You are her son, in every way that matters. I hope so. Jon stands. Call the council. We have a war to win. The screen fades to black. Title card. King Jon Baratheon would reign for 31 years. He would face the White Walkers at the Battle for the Dawn and emerge victorious. He would be remembered as the Winter King, the Silver Stag, the king who chose duty, and the realm would prosper under his rule in ways it had not for generations. All because one day a boar was killed half a second sooner, and one bastard was given a name.